So my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm here with a friend of mine that I've known for a lot of years, and he's actually really well familiar with the area. This was my stomping ground, as you know, and I used to get drunk here all the time. I used to do 10 to 15 shots of vodka, so you've probably seen a lot of that. How do you feel about the neighborhood, and what do you think we need to do to change?
We need more guys like you to try to talk to them so they can start changing. Because there's too much drinking here. They got to slow down with the drinking, the alcohol, the drugs here. They need people like you who goes out and support the community. They need somebody to change this place.
Right.
This place needs to be changed.
And I agree with you. Last week I ran into a lady down the road here, and she said, exactly what you just said, if we just had one person walk, just to give a phone number so when somebody's in need, they have somebody to call to even talk to them. I think that, but and like you know, you cannot fight any addiction without the other half, and the other half is the power of God. And
there you go.
You can have God without addiction, but you can't have addiction recovery without God.
There you go.
You have to have the good Lord constantly. And you know, I said it this way yesterday. I was on Channel 11 yesterday, and I said every night we all wear slippers, shoes, or sneakers to our bed, right? We take them off and we leave it at the edge of our bed.
Right.
Why not put it under your bed? So in the morning when you wake up, you have to go on your knees to go and get them, and then praise God and say thank you for another day in this beautiful earth.
That's very nice. And we need to do something. I'm so glad that you coming out here every day, trying your best to talk to these people. Because these people, well, by time Friday, Thursday, they're drunk walking around.
You're right.
Doing nothing about it.
Yeah, my first interview last week was right over here, standing here, and the guy was telling me he spends $300 in 2 days just on beer. And I said, well, how about just changing a little bit? How about just drinking one day to start with and sober up on Sunday? And he said he won't.
Wow.
But you know what? With the power of God, and I say this every day on my videos, with the power of God, anything is possible. And I'm proof of that, and I'm sure you're somewhat proof of that. I mean, you have a lot of God in you already.
Sure.
I've only since I sobered up started seeking the Lord a lot more. But that was God talking to me. So, but I do appreciate you letting me put this on.
No
and this will just go on one of my videos. But I think when people hear a voice, it means more than my voice all the time. So let me shut this off. Hold on. Go over here. And my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm here with a young lady at laundromat. And we were just talking about her grandfather had you said alcohol addiction, right?
Yes.
And how old was he when he died?
64.
Did he die because of the alcohol?
Yes, he didn't stop.
He just drank.
Alcohol was his food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Like me. That's how I used to drink 10 to 15 shots a day. I live in the Hamptons, but this was my stomping ground. I'd walk from my house on Pagoda to the liquor shop, and by the time I went from there back to my house, I drank all that. And I since then went to college and became an addiction recovery coach, and that's what I do now. And I do believe that we need to go out, and it's people like you and even Pat sitting there and me to help other people. Just as much as the church gives out food, we need to give out advice on how to fight alcoholism. But your grandfather, he died of alcoholism, and
he was diagnosed with diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and he didn't take care of himself, he didn't take the medicine.
What did he drink, beer or anything, any alcohol?
Actually, there was a type of liquor that they did back in my country, and they would like bury it, so
almost like down south, the moonshine, homemade liquor?
Something like that,
yeah.
Yes. But it was so strong that half a bottle would knock you out.
Oh, boy.
So when my grandmother would feed him, he would like try to eat a little bit of food, but the liquor was his drink right after.
Oh, I know. And then you would hardly ever eat because you fill up on the liquor so much.
Exactly.
And I would drink to the point where by the time the afternoon came, I was half asleep. People wouldn't even talk to me. Couldn't talk to me because I wasn't up. But you know, it's people like you because you know somebody who died, and so if you just spread the word, if you see people walking the streets drinking with beer, I mean, I'm not saying go and say don't do that because these days people will kill you for the stupidest things. But you have a situation, and believe me, this will be on one of the airings. And, it's just your story. You're just telling your story. But if you ever do want to go and take a look at some of my videos, you can go right there. There's about 130 videos on my channel, 11, 1, 2, and 3 on YouTube. So take a look, okay? And it was so nice meeting you. My name is Ralf Friedrichs, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let me shut this off. Bye-bye now. Yes? Okay, so this is Ralph. Do you mind if I give you a name? Just your first name. I'm just with Pete, and what Pete is doing is he's walking around the old stomping grounds of mine, which used to be my alcohol haven, I used to call it. I used to walk from my house, Pete, to the liquor shop and back and drink 10 shots of vodka. So what Pete is doing is he's actually cleaning up the neighborhood, which is very applaudable. First of all, I want to tell you that. But tell me what you're finding here. You're finding like things like...
Well, we're finding a lot of drug paraphernalia, needles, alcohol bottles, whether it be small little nips or the big liter bottles broken, a lot of trash. People are just to the point where a lot of good people in this community, and what we're doing is we're trying to take the community back.
Right.
Unfortunately, whether it be the state or the county, they're dumping on this area. We're all the low-class people, and we're trying to make it better.
Right.
There's a group of us, about 3 people. We've been doing this since March, and we're trying to get more people involved. Now, the local Boy Scout troop came down to the village hall one time, says, "Oh, the Eagle Scouts need projects and this and that." We went up to the village, we gave them the information. We haven't seen a Boy Scout since the village meeting.
Wow.
We're trying to get the younger people involved, but they don't want no part of it for some reason. You know, one of our local merchants who just opened up a barbershop in town, he says, "I'll get people," and I gave him the information. And he had gotten 2 people today, unfortunately young children, but he wants to start them young.
Right.
So, but hopefully we can get more people going. Well, every Sunday we do this.
Oh, great.
You know, and they can contact the village hall to clean up. You know,
just volunteer. It's on a volunteer basis.
It's on a volunteer basis. Usually we start around 8:30 in the morning, and we're done. Thank you. And we're done around 10:30. Today we're running late because we're very short-handed today.
Right.
And you know, we're finding issues even with the code enforcement area, because we're finding people living behind vacant buildings, and I guess they're not able to, because of manpower, go back and evict them, because code enforcement has no jail facility.
Right.
And of course the 7th precinct is short-handed. There's only 1 car, I think, for this area. So, you know, they should...
and of course, your job would be a lot easier if we had a better way of fighting addiction in the first place.
Right. I mean,
because then you wouldn't find the things you're finding.
I think also too that the state has to say, well, and I don't want to put the blame on the people of the community, but a lot of people here have second places because they bought when it was very cheap, and they're using it as rentals, and the state's going after those people who are like, "Oh, we'll give you $1,000 to house this family there, Section 8 or welfare or whatever," and you know, and it comes in all denominations.
Yeah,
it's not just one type of person.
No,
you know,
of course.
It's all people.
It's all to the
and a lot of people, you know, whether because of the layoff, which I was a victim of back in 2010 with the crisis, they can't get a decent job again or whatever. You know, they're finding other ways, and they're giving up. And we're trying to get it so people don't give up.
Right. Well, you said it. It's the don't give up attitude, because once you give up, you gave up, and that's pretty much it then. But, you know, it's people like you that are really helping the community.
Well, I really appreciate it.
I really wish that my job, on my end of it, I don't know if you're aware, I mean, Pete and I go back a lot of years.
Right.
I've always been involved with eyeglasses. It's been my life, but I just recently graduated from a university also. Now I'm a Master of Recovery Addiction Coach.
Okay.
And that's why I'm doing this.
Okay.
What I am doing is pro bono, trying to help people and giving them coaching, not just for addiction, but also for life coaching.
Okay.
And my thing here is to help them, because if I help them in the first place, you'll have less to worry about at your end of it.
Right.
So in conjunction, we kind of work together, me in the start and you at the end.
Right. You know, and the whole thing too is maybe you come down to one of our village meetings.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next meeting is on the 14th.
On the 14th? Okay, what time?
7:30.
Okay.
And if you come down, you can just walk to the table and say to Mayor Biondi, say, "Listen, I'm a resident of this area for thousands of years. I still have a home here. You know, I recently relocated. This is what I do. Can I have 2 minutes or 3 minutes to speak?"
Okay, that sounds good.
And then you can tell more about your program and bring some more flyers.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and hopefully hand in hand, this will turn back. I mean, I know a lot of people sit here and say, like we went for a walk on the dunes when Hurricane Sandy first hit. One of the gentlemen was here. He says, back in the 50s, we had 30-foot dunes. Yeah, well, now you don't have, you know. And, you know, but after 10
20 years ago, you and I were thinner.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, like in 1970 when the dunes were 10 feet high, you should have done something then. It's like get down to nothing.
Right.
But my thing is, if you start now and try and help people, if you help one person, maybe that one person will help
Absolutely.
somebody else.
And you know what, Pete was so right, because I say during every show that I do, there are two people that I'm looking to help. One, hopefully, it'd be whoever is listening in my audience, and I guarantee I help me.
Right.
Every time, because this is my recovery program for myself, and this is what I created.
I mean, I do this on the weekends. You know, I'm taking away from my family, from my house.
But you're going to be blessed from
But
God with
I'm
this.
helping.
Yes.
I'm doing it because it's more the environment. You know, I work with lab animals. I'm an animal lab tech for a university, medical school, and I also did wildlife recovery.
Yeah.
So if I see an animal in distress, if that animal survives and can go back into, you know, if it goes back into the wild, I'm happy. If it can't, it stays in a cage in a zoo or a facility, at least it's alive and I did my part.
Well, that's good. And you know what? It's the 14th, right? You said?
The 14th at 7:30 in the Village Hall.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be there, and I'll bring some of my business cards. Let me just give you
give
one
me
of my
business
cards. And it's a pretty simple thing. Help.
Okay.
Can't get any easier than that, and help, right? And I certainly appreciate you doing this interview, Pete. It's always a good seeing you.
And when this is on YouTube?
It's going to be, if you go to this website, well, let me see, is my other website on there? Because I have two websites. The other one is Clear Views. Did we put it on this one? Oh, it's right there. You see clearviews.info? Yeah. On clearviews.info, there's over 130 videos already.
Okay.
They average about an hour and a half. I have sponsors. I do my own. I'm the host, the producer, the director.
Okay.
Take a look at some of the videos. There's a topic almost every day that affects each and one of us in this community.
Okay.
Even you with your animals, believe me. Right. There's always a topic.
Well, like I said, you know, I mean, like when I go to work and stuff, I run into different people. I mean, I got so many. I'm wearing so many different hats right now because you know I started with the animals. I go to tackle Porsche. I meet somebody. I said, "Oh, can I take a picture of your alligator?"
Yeah.
Someone there says, "Well, he knows this person." Oh yeah. Now I'm holding the boa. I did the facility with York Decks to Nature.
Wow.
At to try hammerfish, boa constrictors. So I mean, I have a lot of people.
Well, you know, all those hats that you're wearing, it's really good, especially in our age group now, because it keeps your mind going, keeps you fresh, and more importantly, not for you, but for me, it keeps me away from doing other things.
Right. Well, I'm still getting senile, but
that's all right, Pete. But, always good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
And I will definitely see you on the 14th. Okay. But you'll see me here next Sunday if you're here. I come every Sunday for about an hour. Yeah, I was going to start going to the. I know her.
Well, next Sunday we're going to be over by Wave Press. We're going to be doing Wave Press.
Maybe I'll stop over there and I'll catch up with you. Thanks, Pete.
And what I'll do is I'll keep in touch with you email-wise.
How are you?
Yes, hi.
That was you.
How you been?
Good.
Thanks, Pete. Thank you. Good seeing you. I certainly will. He was just up here visiting.
Really?
Yeah, but he's back down in Myrtle Beach.
How's your mom doing?
My mom is. Thanks, Pete. Lives right around the corner, by King Cullen.
Oh, she's still over there. She was there.
Yeah, so I moved. I live out in Hampton Bays, but I come back to my stomping grounds because I used to be a really bad alcoholic. And since then, I graduated from school, and I'm an addiction recovery coach. So what I do is I come down to my stomping grounds.
Okay.
Pro bono, I give any coaching to anyone that wants it for free.
Okay.
I'm going to give you, not for you, but if you know somebody.
Sure. Give me some of them, definitely. I know a lot of people.
Everybody comes to this fork in the road in life. You're either going to go to the addiction or recovery. I'm here to help go to this side. But it's not just for addiction. I do life coaching. I do all that. How's your daughter doing? Good? Your mother. How's your mother?
My mother's
I'm
good.
sorry.
My niece is good. That's who you mean.
Yeah, and your that was your father over there.
No.
And that's that was,
my mom's husband.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I have 8 years clean.
Good for you. How do you stay clean? AA or? Because I don't use AA, I use my own methods, which is channel 11, channel 1, 2, and 3 on YouTube every day for 2-hour videos.
Good for you. No, mine is just I got involved with the community.
Good for you, and I see that, and you know, I've known Pete for a lot of years, and that is really good. If you ever want to talk about what your bad past as far as your drinking, like I do, and there's no shame in talking about it, I can either do it on audio or on video, and you'll be seen all over, not just the country, all over the world.
Really?
Yeah, I have about 5.2 billion followers right now worldwide.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so get in touch with me. Let me give you my card. And get in touch with me.
I would like to do that.
And it doesn't have to be on video because a lot of people, for some reason, and you know, during my videos, I always said there's no shame. People will respect you more for coming clean and talking about it than if you're just hiding like I used to do in the closet. So if you want to, I can come to you with a video camera and I'll definitely put you on, okay? It's good seeing you again. Bye-bye.
How's your wife doing?
She's good. She's waiting for me. She's in the car down there, the caddy.
Oh,
Because we come out here for an hour on a Sunday. That's the only time I really have. But I felt coming to my stomping ground where I did my most drinking is the best place because I know the area.
Yeah, see, I left my stomping grounds. I left here when I was doing my dirt.
Well, see, I did too.
I came home when I was ready.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, for me to come here because I really do. I used to walk from that liquor shop to my house on Pagoda and drink 15 shots of vodka on my walk. And I used to do exactly what you're doing here, is just throw my shots into the woods and stuff. So what you guys, I was just saying to Pete, if I can prevent in the beginning, you won't have to do this at the end. It's all teamwork. So, but we'll talk, okay?
Yes, I will.
Talk to you later. Bye bye. Oh, I'll definitely do that. Thanks. Bye bye. Take care, Pete.
Take care.
Bye bye. Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking to them. They invited me to speak at the next village meeting. So, yeah, I'm actually friends with a couple people there. And yeah, but yeah, so maybe at the 14th, 7:30, if you want to stop by. All right? Okay, thank you, Pat. You too. Hey, how you doing? Would you mind if I give you one of these? I'm just trying to help the neighborhood fight addiction recovery from drugs and alcohol. If you know anybody, including yourself, I do it for free of charge. I'm an addiction recovery coach. Everybody faces a fork in the road, either addiction or recovery. Good for you. Have you beaten it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Every once in a while you still do?
It took me 16 years to do it.
You know what? It's never too late. I always talk about the book of life. It's the last chapters that are most important in your life, you know? So, good for you. If you know anybody, pass that on, okay?
Well,
thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, let me give you my direct business card, too, then. That'll probably help you even more than that flyer.
Hey, got back from Florida.
Oh, okay. What, does she have, alcohol issues? Or both?
A little bit more.
A little bit more, huh? Is that bad?
Yeah. She's been going to the meetings. I don't know how sincere she is. I mean, I love her, but I got no respect for her.
Now, did you use AA, too? Because I tried to use AA.
I use prison.
Oh, okay. I used the prison my own life, but I tried AA and it didn't do anything to me. I had to come up with my own way of...
Pretty much, I mean, I still drink beer.
Right.
But that's it. I'll never touch. So I've been getting my whole life.
Wow.
And it took me 16-year prison sentence.
16 years? Wow.
Say, what the fuck am I doing? Because it was my 16-year prison sentence.
Wow.
And I'm still fucking fighting with bullshit. Not with that, with them. I just got fucking extradited for an apology. I got fucking slammed in Florida.
For an apology?
Yeah, they extradited. My life was good too. I just got out in 2012.
Wow.
At 54 years old. And my life started falling into place. I was doing good. And they claimed I didn't try and get my probation with Florida resolved, and I did. We showed up in February. They came and put the bracelets on February. I was on federal probation the whole time I was here too.
Jesus. And they extradited you all the way down to Florida for that?
3 weeks in the county jail, a week to get the fuck there in the doghouse, then 3 or 4 weeks in the county jail there. And when I finally got to probation there, they says, "Oh, Mr. Toro, we're really sorry that you got caught up in this bullshit, but it's right there to try to get this matter resolved."
Wow.
Because it's one of the first things my federal PO told me to do.
Wow.
And he off bench warrants and all this shit.
And that's all you got as an apology?
Yeah, and it ruined my fucking... It ruined me. I just got back 2 months ago. 5 months.
So now you're probably looking for work and all that again, and... Wow.
I'm all fucked up now. I mean,
you know,
I live around the corner.
I'm going to be at the village meeting on the 14th, talking about addiction, but if you on Sundays volunteer to help clean up the streets, you can get your way into possibly working for their maintenance program, because I know they're looking for help. You know, the construction maintenance and cleanup, they are looking for help if you go down to the village hall. Just ask them, but, you know, I'm saying this with respect. I don't know what their criteria are for background. That's all I'm saying about that. You might want to just check into it. But I happen to know some people here. I ran for trustee years ago here.
My name's Paul. Right now, my head's up my ass. I'm trying to get my old lady's phone.
Yeah. All right. Too much to think about.
On there?
Yeah, my number's on there. Give me a call. On that piece of paper I gave you.
Yeah.
Both my websites, over 130 videos, show your niece. You said your niece, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
My sister's daughter.
Yeah, show your niece some of those videos. It talks about everything.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it on to my sister.
Okay.
My niece is already robbed up for about 40 grand.
Wow.
She's young. She's 22. She's a gorgeous kid. She looks 17. And she's fucked up. I tried to talk to her. You know. And
Right.
like my sister just asked me to put her extra vehicle on the road, Jeep, which I used to use because I was driving without a license before, and I won't do it now because I'll go back to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm on parole now with the fucking state.
You don't want to do that over.
Okay, and I really don't want to do time in Florida again.
Yeah, you use public transportation, bicycles,
well,
whatever.
Over here it sucks.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fallback.
To get a bus here on this road? Yeah.
To get it to work, I'm in construction.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
You have to drive to the site, pretty much, wherever the site is.
That, or I used to use the Jeep and go to the train station because I would work Manhattan. I would take a 2-hour trip.
Yeah.
2-hour trip back. I didn't give a fuck.
And you don't want to take a cab up to the trains? It's like $6, $7 bucks.
Yeah, but it's by the time you figure that in and you figure in the cost of the trains.
I know.
You know, even if you're making $150 a day.
It adds up at the end. A train alone is like $4.80 a month.
It's $22. If you get the monthly ticket, it's not that bad. It's like $12 each way.
Yeah.
So it's $24. The cab, you know, you're doing $34, $50, $44 a day. Yeah, if you're making $150 a day, it's not bad. Right. I don't care. Because after 16 years, my friend, I don't give a fuck. I don't look to live extravagant no more. I did that already.
Right.
You know, I'm just looking. It's nice not to use sandpaper or toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to fucking be able to pay my bills. I just came back. I got to go back to social services.
Wow.
And I haven't did that route since I came back.
Yeah, you got a lot going on right now.
It is what it is. I mean, I'm a survivor.
Yeah, you take one day at a time. And
I'm doing a fucking job down on Montauk Road, Montauk Drive, whatever the fuck it is. I just put up a shed. I'm making it into a sauna.
Yeah, maybe you can even put up like a little flyer up in there. And have
I had flyers. There was another dude that lives around here who's straight as a boy, never fucked around. But he's like really unreliable. Yeah. I paid for her, my old lady to get a license, but she's her ass up her ass out. She's got 4 kids. Wow. She's 54 with 2 twins as well. She started raising mine. And you know, I paid for her license. I figured, all right, if I'm working on the books, I can get talk to one of my relatives and probably get a truck on loan. But then would that be a mistake too? Because she is not a complete angel. Yeah, yeah. And you got to worry about who you associate yourself with because of your probation. But you know what? Look at it this way. This is the way I would look at it. You had the hard things happen in your life. It can only get better from this point, and it certainly will. Listen, if you get a chance, stop down at the village and just ask them, because I know they need people just they pay to clean up this. Where is the village? Do you know where that little gas station is? Yeah. Right across the street. Yeah, right across the street. Just stop in there and talk to them, okay? I will. Nice meeting you. Take care, sir. I hope everything. Okay, terrific. All right, and like I said, I mean, her name is Tiffany, my niece. Okay. And maybe you can do something for her. Maybe, and I'm going to be here the next 8 Sundays around this time, because I moved since then. I live in Hampton Bays. Right on the other side of fucking Sunrise. Okay. Well, if she calls me, if you call me, I'll make sure I get to her. My sister will probably definitely call. And you know what? She doesn't physically have to meet with me. We can do it over Skype. I can talk to her. We can do it over the phone. Just give her. My landlord, he goes to the meetings over by the ice cream parlor. Yeah, yeah. All right, so I introduced them. But she I don't think she's had the bottom yet. You got to hit rock bottom, because otherwise but you know what? As long as she keeps plugging at it, that's the thing. If she does. If she does, right? She's a fucking good manipulator. Aren't we all when we want some? She is. I never robbed my parents. Nah. I robbed a dope dealer. Yeah. I used to, I'm 56, so everything nowadays was robbing cars. Yeah. You know, she is a fucking manipulator. Wow. She's the queen of fucking hunts. Oh, jeez. My sister asked me to put the Jeep back on the road. I don't want to do it, but then I feel like I'm doing something for her. And right now, I don't really think it's the right thing to do. Right. Because that's going to open doors for her to play her game. You know, and like I said, I'm not a firm believer in the meetings. I was forced to stay in the halfway house per choice to get my paperwork transferred back to New York when they extradited me. And I see the shit that goes on, and actually I lost my chain of thought. Well, the main thing is that hopefully she'll hit rock bottom sooner or later. I hope sooner or later, but I figured one of 2 things: go to jail, she's scared to death, or she get a phone call. She's done.
Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today is September 4th. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I just want to share with everyone something this morning. I saw a demonstration maybe about a month ago in reference to our dark side and the power of prayer. If you continuously pray over and over and over again, things will eventually become clear. Although a lot of times when we pray to God, we don't get answers right away. But if you continuously pray over and over, things become clear. So the demonstration involves this bottle, and if you see, the inside of this bottle is all dark liquid. That represents our dark side. And this cap represents our limitations. So we as a human, which is the bottle, have limitations, which is this cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottle into the sink, and we're going to do a demonstration. So let me put that there. I'm going to turn the camera around so that everybody can see it. And hopefully you folks can all see it now. Okay, so you see the bottle. I'm going to turn the water on. Okay, so now everything inside is dark, which represents our body and our inside. And what I'm going to do, and this clear water represents our prayer. So you see the continuous water running. I'm going to now, as the prayer, as we're praying, I'm going to lift our limitations, which is the cap. And we're going to slowly add our prayer to this. We all go through dark times. I mean, I've had some dark years. I just didn't understand everything that was happening. I'm going to admit it that I'm not a super patient person. I tend to want answers right away and know what's happening and what I can do to solve it. I don't like not being happy and confident about things. It's just not who I am. But when I get down, it takes a lot for me to get back up. If we pray for a sign, which is this, the water is prayer, but just give up because we feel like God's already heard our prayer and He knows what we need, but He hasn't answered. It's kind of like when we were kids in the toy store and we kept asking our mom and dad for toys, but we never got any results. Yeah, it never worked for me either, but you get what I mean. Anyway, that is exactly what's happened to me in the past years. I have prayed and prayed and prayed, but haven't really gotten any results. The answer I thought God would give me, and especially in the time of praying, I thought my problems would be fixed, which was all before 2013. Then, in 2013, my cap of limitations was lifted. This is the cap, remember this now, was lifted off the bottle, which is my body. Here is where I will just show you how that worked for me. So basically we all have dark sides, which is what's in the bottle, was in the bottle. We are facing, and we take the limitations off our mind, which was the cap I lifted. Don't limit what He can do, because we have to just trust in the Lord. That sometimes even after we pray and we just give up, and it is often why we get defeated. However, even though nothing has really changed, we just keep praying. That's the prayer, the sign of the prayer, the flowing Lord. Just keep praying and never ever give up praying. And if we do that and devote ourselves completely to the Lord, He will pull us through. The dark times will go away, and we just have to be patient. I know it's hard. Being patient truly is a virtue. But by never ever giving up on prayer, it's going to show you that God will eventually answer all your prayer. And the more we pray, which is this water going into the bottle, one day everything will become clear. You see how clear this is now? That is the power of prayer. Folks, I think that demonstration says it all. If we had a bottle which represents our body, and the bottle, everything was dark on the inside, and the water coming out of the faucet represents the prayer, day after day after day, just keeps adding to the darkness which was in the bottle. Eventually all that prayer has to turn what was dark inside this bottle, which is our body, has to change and become as clear as this water in here. That, folks, is the power of prayer. Hello, folks. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I just want to share my story with my situation back in 1981 in the United States Marine Corps. I was sitting in a chapel during boot camp, and a chaplain tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to come into his quiet room. As I was walking into his quiet room, I had no idea what he wanted from me. It was then that God was setting my life in motion. So the chaplain sat me down and he says, Ralph, I've noticed that you like to help people, you motivate people, you're always walking around with a smile. And I wanted to know, this is the chaplain saying this to me, I wanted to know, Ralph, would you like to volunteer and become a lay leader? And of course, I had no idea what a lay leader was. So he explained to me what a lay leader was. It's somebody that is a liaison between the recruits and the chaplain. So when the recruits have issues, problems, or anything like that, they go to the lay leader, and they go to the chaplain as the lay leader to let the chaplain know of the situations that are happening. It was then in 1981 that God already had a plan for me, and when there from that point on was that God realized that no matter how long it would take for me to achieve what God already knew what was going to happen to me, He would let me go down into the worst extremes in life. So from 1981 as a lay leader, and I'm going to show you the medal now with a lay leader, the front and the back. This is the back of the medal, and then the front looks like this. So in 1981, at Paris Island, South Carolina, when I became a lay leader, God already had my life set in motion. But again, He wanted me to set my own course in life. So I went down the years and the course of my life and did some of the worst things possible to my own body through alcoholism. God already said to Himself, well, I'm going to wait for Ralph to get close to hitting rock bottom. So from 1981 until 2011, which is 30 years, God came to me again and He said, Ralph, are you ready to continue helping other people? That's when I formed Mastic Beach Outreach 2011, and what that was is for older people and mentally and physically challenged people, that my wife and I would help them by giving them clothing, food, possibly, like in one case, tires for someone's car. And so God said, okay, he is getting better, but he's still not ready to do what I really wanted him to do. So in 2011, I continued my alcoholism to the point of 10 to 15 shots a day. As time went further, 2 years down the road, it became worse and worse with my alcoholism. In 2013, God finally put His big hand on my head and says, are you ready now? That is when I hit rock bottom. June 22nd, 2013, I reached out and I finally admit that I had an alcohol problem. It was then when God lifted me up and set my life in motion for today, September 2nd, 2014. So from 2013 until 2014, I continue educating myself and you, others, through my websites, through my videos on how to battle with addiction. And God saw this, and He said to Himself, Ralph is still continuing helping people. So in between 2013 and 2014, as time was going by, and I proved to God that I was really reforming myself, that God introduced me to Dr. Luis Gonzalez. I had been toying with the idea about becoming a substance abuse counselor until I ran into an article about recovery coaching. So I thought it was very ironic that God had planted Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, that's StartingPointMN.com, 844-414-8444, into my life. Dr. Luis Gonzalez gave me the educational programming to turn me into a recovery coach. So while I was training for Dr. Luis Gonzalez to become a recovery coach, and today, my father comes from South Carolina to visit, and we're looking at my shrine, which my wife calls a shrine, which is all my Marine Corps ribbons and medals. And my father asked me, Ralph, what is this medal for? What is this particular medal for? And I then said to myself, here's where it all came together. I finally realized what that medal stood for and how it influenced me in my life. It was back in 1981 that God knew already that I would eventually, towards the middle or 60% of my life, be out to help other people, to continuously help people, to motivate people, to coach people. So it was from 1981 to 2011 that I ran my life to the ragged ends, to the pit of the worst. And then from 2011 to 2013, even worse than that. And then June 22nd, 2013, finally helped myself up with the grace of God. And in 2014 became an addiction recovery coach. And all that epiphany came to me due to my father asking me what this stood for. This particular silver medal. When he asked me that, it all finally came together, that God had bigger and better plans for me. And this is what I'm telling you, folks. There is a plan for you. No matter what the plan might be, you don't know what it is, but there is a plan for you. It's just a matter of you figuring it out. So why don't you let me help take your life back? Thank you. God bless you, and have a sober day. Good morning, my name is Ralf Friedrichs, and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today we're going to talk about something that we discuss almost in each and every one of my videos, probably for the last at least 80 videos, and that is how to be a role model. What is a role model? Who should be a role model? And what should you never ever do as a role model? But before we go into that, let's talk about Luis Gonzalez. That is Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. That's StartingPointMN.com. That's StartingPointMN.com. He is at 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez does two things. On one side of his business, he does exactly what I do, and that he walks from your addiction to your recovery daily with you 24 hours at a time. Like myself, he will never ever talk about your past. We only work on today and we worry about tomorrow. We will help you fight your addiction daily. On the other side of his business, he can turn you into an addiction recovery coach if you have the passion, personality, and professionalism, and you have some experience with addiction, whether it being your own or helping somebody else. He can also put you through his educational program, and you could be a graduate like I was from Dr. Luis Gonzalez at 844-414-8444. That's StartingPointMN.com. My websites consist of two separate websites. The first one is for www.clearviews.info, and what clearviews.info is a informational based website purely for addiction and recovery. We have articles, we have stories, we have over 100 videos, and what we do, we let you folks out there go to that website and educate yourself. Learn how to fight with your addiction. Learn how to look at other people and see if they have an addiction that you might be able to help. We have articles and videos by doctors, psychologists, and psychiatrists. They are the clinical people that let us view their items right on my website. And then I have my own videos, over 130 of them. And my own videos are every topic you can imagine, anywhere from fetal syndrome to steps on beating alcoholism, also on marijuana usage. Whatever the subject, we have it on it. However, if there is something that you have not seen on www.clearviews.info, let me know, and I will make sure that we will address that topic that you are so interested in. You can text me at 631-599-0218, or you can call me at 844-405-HELP. You can also email me at clearreform@yahoo.com. That's CLEARREFORM@yahoo.com. Let me know what you want me to talk about during the next week or two, and I will make sure it happens. On my other website, which is www.clearreform.com, that is also like Dr. Luis Gonzalez. That is where I will be your addiction recovery coach if you want me to be, and I will walk you from your addiction to your recovery. There's a bridge, and we will walk across every 24 hours daily together. I will also, like Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com, not talk about your past. I am not a counselor or a therapist. I am purely a master addiction recovery coach. That is what we're going to do today. Do together. So, You have those factors. And I also want to give a shout out to somebody I haven't done for a while, and that is Pam Hemphill. And you can find her on Facebook. Her show, it's a TV talk show which concentrates on recovery, is Time to Heal. And that is on Facebook. You just type in Time to Heal in the search bar. Her name is Pam Hemphill. She's been gracious enough to run my commercials on her show. If you go to my website, www.clearviews.info, you will find her page listed. You hit more, and then you'll see Time to Heal. Go there, and I believe I have just about her last 17 or 18 episodes. The last episode was very interesting. You need to see it. Go to www.clearviews.info or go to Facebook. You can find Time to Heal there, Pam Hemphill, or you can go to YouTube and just type in Time to Heal, episode 1, episode 2, whatever you want to look at, and you will find it there too. Let's go right to this. How to be a role model. Again, you can always tell when I'm talking passionately from my heart and when I'm reading. So this is going to be a combination of both. We're going to start with the reading. I always say that the best role model is the role model that practices what they preach. If I don't want you to smoke, I shouldn't smoke in front of you. If I don't want you to drink, I shouldn't drink in front of you. So you get the message there. But if you tell them to have good manners, they don't talk with their mouth full. That is a practice what you preach. Don't you tell them that while you're chewing away. If you tell them to keep their room clean, then keep your room clean as well. Don't let them walk into your bedroom and finding it's a mess when you're trying to get them to keep their room clean. If you're always asking your children to eat healthier foods, let them see that you're choosing salad over French fries. Every once in a while, that would be nice. Practice what you preach. That is such an easy concept to go by. Lead by example, folks. Example would be not to smoke and drink and use profanity or physically abuse a person. That would be leading by example. Apologize when you make a mistake. Don't put pressure on yourself to be a flawless parent who never makes a single mistake. You will make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But you need to own your mistakes and apologize. So you need to apologize when you make a mistake. You need to think out loud. Your children don't have to see that you as a person always keeps everything within themselves. In fact, you can help them out by showing them that you can think out loud, and then what your thoughts are, your children would also have an input. However, you have to be careful not to take this idea too far. You don't want to end up having to explain your reasoning to your child every time you make a decision that's out loud. Otherwise, it may get very exhausting and you will lose its power, or your power as a parent. Follow through. Another must for a parent who wants to be a good role model is to back up what they say. If you tell your children they're punished, they're grounded, you need to follow through. You can't 2 hours later say, okay, forgive and forget, you're not punished anymore. You need to follow through. If you tell your child she won't be able to go out to the mall with her friends if she doesn't finish her homework, then you need to stick to that. Is the homework done? Great. Now you can go out. If it's not done, not so great. You're not going out. Treat everyone, including your children, with respect. Everyone. Let me just put this down a little bit, folks. That's not just certain people. Everyone needs to be treated with respect. If you want to be a good role model for your children, then you have to treat everyone around you with respect, from the handyman to the neighbors. You can't tell your children to be kind to everyone and let them see that you're mad-mouthing your friends, your neighbors, or other people at your job. You might be talking negative at the dinner table to your wife or your husband about other people. That is not leading by example. You need to be very, and I repeat, very consistent. Another thing you have to do is, as a good role model for your kids, is to be consistent in the way you keep the order in your household. If you have a rule that your children can't play with their friends until they've done their homework, then you have to enforce it every time, instead of making exceptions based on how badly your children want to play with their friends. You can't pick and choose what rules you're going to enforce and which ones you're not going to. It goes through with the follow-through concept right here. You need to be consistent when you follow through. Treat your partner with respect. Your relationship with your partner, if you have one, may be one of the most important relationships for your children to see. Though no relationship is perfect, you show your children that the two people working together and love each other can and will compromise on certain decisions. That will show your children that there is unity between you and your partner. When the unity has a crack or has any type of gap within their relationship, children will feed on that. One parent becomes the good cop, one parent becomes the bad cop. So you need to unite with your husband or your wife. Show an interest in the material, whether you're teaching organic chemistry or basic grammar. You need to start showing interest with your child's homework, with anything that they possibly have an interest in. You need to show some sort of interest, even if you don't like what they're looking at. Pretend. Let me read what it says. You have to show that you are excited about the War of 1812. I'm not excited, but you have to pretend to your children. The Canterbury Tales, factoring equations, or whatever it is you're teaching that day. Your enthusiasm will be infectious and will show the students the importance of caring about what they are learning. When you show enthusiasm, so will they. Follow your own rules. What is that? This is one of the pretty straightforward. If you tell your students not to be late to class, don't be late to class. If you have no cell phone policy in your home, keep your phone off during dinner and all that as well. If you tell your kids that they can't eat before dinner, then you shouldn't be munching on things. Don't play favorites with your children. You really can't. If you have 3 children, treat them equally. In your mind, you might have a favorite one, but don't play favorites to them. Treat everybody on an equal level. And again, you need to admit your mistakes. You remember, apologize for your mistakes? Well, you need to admit them too. What it says is, this one is a bit tricky. You want your children to see that you as a person with that has answers, and you're the person that administers the rules in the house. But when your children see you make a mistake, you also have to be the person to first admit your mistake and then apologize for your mistake. Ask for feedback from your children. Though asking your children to come up with any kind of feedback that might be beneficial for them, but the feedback they might give you might also make you a better parent as well. Whether being good or bad feedback, it does help for you to get that feedback, because it will indirectly educate you to be a better parent. And you know what? We're not perfect as a husband. We're not perfect as a wife. We're not perfect as parents either. And it is sometimes the husband or wife to point it out to each other what needs improvement. And the same goes with children. They need to point out to the parents, not in a way to say, well, I think this is how you become a better parent, but to get the feedback from them, and that allows you then to build a new foundation. You need to apologize when you hurt like your children's feelings. When you say something about, let's say your daughter comes home with a new guy, and you don't like the way the guy looks or talks, be gentle on how you approach talking to your daughter about that. Don't call him some racial name or nationality names. Just don't become an Archie Bunker. Proceed with caution. Remember, your daughter, your son, they have feelings, and you certainly don't want to hurt those feelings. If you want to do something on your own, explain why. If your children, let's say, Dad, you're out in the garage and you want to, I don't know, work on your engine, and your son comes out and he wants to help, but you totally want to do it on your own because A, something you've been looking forward to, or B, is because you don't want any damages to happen to your engine. You need to really explain why you want to do it on your own to your child. If you want to be left alone for a while, or want just to hang out with your, like in this case, your car alone, don't just tell your child to, get lost or scram. Explain to him why. This is daddy's alone time. Why don't you go and maybe, go out with your friends, or here, it's $5 and go and get yourself a piece of candy or something to that effect. You need to tell your children, as a good role model, you need to tell your children to do well in school. You don't have to be a straight student. You have to tell them, it's not important to be a straight A student in order to be a successful person in life. But what you do want to do is encourage them to constantly study and constantly be active in the school activities. You want to also tell your children, you as the role model, is that both your children, if you have 2 or 3 or 4, they don't need to compete each other to get you to love them anymore. You, as the mommy or daddy, grandparent, or legal guardian, will love your children across the board equally. So they don't need to compete. It's likely that your younger children will want to talk like you. They want to dress like you. Your son wants to look just like dad. Perfect example would be, remember in Jaws, the movie, where the father was going like this, and then the son was going like this, and then the father went like that. You could see the son was drawing attention. He wanted to do whatever the father was doing. Tell your children to be themselves. Tell your children that they don't have to be like you, and certainly tell your children that you love them daily. Don't pressure your children to do something more than they really can handle. In other words, if you feel that your child is not doing enough at home, start with little steps. If the room is totally messed up, they're not doing their homework, and the dog hasn't been walked, don't say A, B, and C have to be done right now. Start with A. John, please clean your room. When that's completed, give them a little bit of time to relax. And then, John, walk the dog. Be a good role model, because when your son, your daughter see you with a calm voice, you with that leadership role that you are supposed to possess, that will show Johnny that you are a good role model. And he will write all this in his chapters in his book of life, which we're going to discuss. Include your children in a lot of activities at home. That is so important. Include your wife, your husband, include your children. You, as the role model of the home, need to be involved in everybody's life. You need to bring everybody together, unite as a family. You need to do 4 things every day at home, and you need to quit 4 things every day at home. Those are the things you have to do. But you also need to be the mature adult, the role model in your home, and make sure that everybody has their place at your home. If you're the husband, you're the role model, make sure that you and your wife work together as 2 co-role models. A role model is not just put on the husband or not just put on the wife. It is put on by 2 united people as a couple. You have to be in sync with each other. You can't jump from one thing to the next thing and then have your wife do something totally different, or your husband. You need to combine your forces together to be that perfect role model. And I'm going to tell you the 4 things you should never do. You should never smoke in your home. You should never drink in your home. You should never use profanity at your home. And you should never, ever, anywhere, whether it's your home or anywhere else, use physical violence. Here's 4 things that you should have in your home. You should have respect. You should have love. You should have compassion. And you should have emotional contact with your children. What are the action plans to get rid of those 4 things that you should not have? If you need to smoke, smoke somewhere else. Smoke outside. If you need to drink, you do the same. Don't drink in your home. If you come to the point in life where you need to drink every day and you can't live without it, you are watching the perfect video. You're watching an alcoholic talking to you right now. And I am here to tell you that you can live without alcohol. But if you do need to drink and you're not ready for a rock bottom, do it away from your home. If you need to use that filthy profanity that's not in the Webster Dictionary, do it outside your home. And if you're in your home, go to the bathroom and do it where it belongs, which is in the toilet. If you are one of those people that physically abuses people, you need therapy or counseling, folks. And if you're the victim of physical abuse, you need to call the authorities. Let the authorities take the abuser out in handcuffs and seek help on the outside, so your loved one who was just taken out in handcuffs possibly will come back a better person than the authorities coming to take you out in a body bag, because you won't be coming back. Death is irreversible. People going seeing counseling and therapy can change. So if you're the victim of an abuser, you need to do something. And here are the 4 things that we talked about that need to be done, and what are the action plans. For the love, you need to unite, husband and wife, husband or partner, wife or partner, whatever. Unite and show love consistently and constantly to the whole entire family. You need to show compassion. If your son has issues, peer pressure, or your daughter, show compassion. Tell them you've been through this. Tell them your experiences. Teach them. You need to show respect. If your son and daughter have issues, don't just shoot them down and shake it off. Show respect. Show respect to your spouse, to your partner. And you need to be emotional. If your son or daughter are crying about something, show them that you have an emotion. Don't be so cold-faced like I, for a lot of years, have been, and that was due to the United States Marine Corps. They turned me into somewhat of a robot. However, I have shown more emotion and more compassion. Those are the 4 things that you need those action plans for to have in your home. Because if you get rid of those other 4 things and you add these 4 things, that is like letting sunshine into your heart and into your home, will give you nothing but positive results. These 4 things are all darkness and negative results. The other 4 things, respect, compassion, passion, and love, that's all sunshine. That is positive results, folks. That is the gist of being a role model. You need to be a role model. Lead by example. If you tell them have good manners, you need to show good manners. If you tell them to keep their room clean, you need to keep your bedroom clean. If you're asking your children to eat healthier foods, you need to eat healthier foods in front of them. If you tell them not to smoke, you definitely shouldn't smoke. If you tell them don't drink, you shouldn't be drinking. If you're telling them not to use foul-mouthed language, certainly you shouldn't be using it. If you're telling them not to go and bully other people, do not be a bully in your home. You need to apologize when you make a mistake. Nobody is too big to apologize. You need to think out loud. Let your children know what you're thinking. Let your wife know what you're thinking. You need to follow through. When you set rules in your house as the role model, you need to follow through. Don't pick and choose how your moods are and how you're following through on your rules. You need to treat everyone, including your children, with respect. We talked about that. Everyone. That even goes down to your dog or your cat. You need to be consistent on anything that is any house rules. You need to be consistent. If the garbage goes out on a Tuesday, it goes on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. You need to treat your partner with respect. If your children see you and your partner united, they will unite with you as a family. You need to show interest in your children's daily activities, including their homework. Even though you don't want to hear about the war in 1882, because you've heard it many a time, show interest. You need to follow through with your own rules. Don't bend the rules for you, but enforce them for them. Don't play favorites with anyone. You have 6 children, they're all equally the same. You need to admit your mistakes. First you admit your mistake, and then the rule number 1, you apologize for your mistake. You're not big enough or too big to apologize to your wife, your husband, or your children. Ask for feedback from your children at dinner table. Because when you get feedback, it might help you mold yourself or your children's situations into a better environment. You need to apologize when you hurt your son or your daughter's feelings by saying something that was out of line. You need to do that. Because when you show them that you can apologize for hurting their feelings when they hurt your feelings, they will come around to apologize to you. If you want to do things on your own in the garage or in the kitchen, don't just shoot them down and kick them out. Do something constructive by possibly telling them you wanted a little bit of alone time, but here's $5, go to the store. Please emphasize for them to do well in school. However, don't expect them or don't tell them they have to have straight A's. Nobody did. How many people have become successful in life not having straight A's? Folks, you learn so much more in life than you'd learn at school. I am not saying you shouldn't have straight A's. I'm just saying don't expect your children by telling them they have to have it. Your children, if they get the love and the guidance from you as the role model, will do the best they can with the proper role modelship from you. If you see your children compete with each other for your love, tell them not to compete. Your love is unconditional to equally to all of them. Don't pressure your children on telling you things that's going on in their personal life, like what's in their diary. If they want you to know something, they will. This is why I always say during my role model little talks that we have, is that a dinner table is an open forum. You will learn so much. Yes, husband and wife in today's society, with the economy being as drastic and high it is as it is cost-wise, husband and wife do have to work. However, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights can and should be the nights of family dinner together. Show your children, even you as the role model, you as the authority figure in the home, also you are not perfect. No one is. Include your children in activities, family outings, game nights. You need to be more mature than your children. If your children yell at you, don't yell back. Show them the maturity level that you are supposed to possess. If you do all these things, and you don't do those 4 things, smoke, drink, profanity, and physical abuse, and you do these 4 things, which is compassion, love, emotion, and respect, that will give you a perfect platform to be a good role model. And being a good role model is going to include the chapters in the book of life of your children and your own book. Your children's book and your book all start at your birth and your children's book. It is you as the role model that have to be part of the chapters from 0 to 18 for your children. You, in conjunction with your children, will be writing every chapter of every year. In other words, 1 year is 1 chapter. 18 would be 18 chapters. It is you that have to help write that. Because if you don't include these 4 things and include those other 4 things that we spoke about in your children's book, chapters in their book, all the way up to 18, you have now molded them to go into society with a shield around them. But if you don't do that, what you're doing is creating a situation that they saw you drink, smoke, use profanity, and physically abuse, that they go into society and they're going to blend right in because that's all they're going to get from there. My book of life started in 61. At 17, chapter 17, I left home, went to college. At chapter 19, I graduated college, went into the Marine Corps. Became a lay leader in the Marine Corps, which is pretty much what an addiction recovery coach is, only in the military sense with religion attached to it. And I would be the liaison between a recruit and a chaplain. Chapter 22, I had an accident in Beirut, Lebanon. We had a bombing. God protected me. God protected me from certain death. We're going to fast forward now to chapter, 47, 2009. God protected me again. I had an accident in Alaska. But all those chapters from 17 to 47 included one thing in every chapter, and that was called alcoholism. So here we are, chapter 47. From chapter 47 to chapter 50, the alcoholism increased dramatically because I was home, I wasn't working, I was in physical therapy. Now let's go right to chapter 52. Chapter 52 is rock bottom for me. Chapter 52 is rock bottom for me. That is when new chapters started being rewritten by me that will never, ever include alcoholism again. God protected me twice from certain death, from accidents. God protected me 3 times or 4 times from possible overdose due to my alcoholism. So chapter 52, till the end of my book, whenever that might be, could be at 60, could be at 54, it could be at 80, I don't know. That is in God's hand. But chapter 52 and on have been good chapters that included no alcoholism at all. They included chapters as in helping other people, included chapters as in fighting my addiction, included chapters as in compassion and love towards people. I guess you understand what it is, the book of life, from chapter 1 to chapter whenever your end is. People will remember you at the last chapters. So today, October 1st, 2014, you want to change the chapters in your book of life. Let's figure out a method for you to do that. If you want to get rid of your drug abuse or your alcohol abuse, go to AA or what's the other one? NA. They have the 12 steps. They have the 90-90, which is 90 meetings in 90 days. They have a constructed program since 1936 that has helped millions. I did try it, but I need to be more actively involved. In front of a camera is one way, because a voice and a face tell you more that I am human with a disease called alcoholism, and that I'm here to testify to you that there is life other than alcohol. I am here to tell you I am not ashamed to admit that I have a disease. In turn, I'd like for you to admit of your either drug and or alcohol abuse, because the only way you're going to conquer this and learn to fight with it is 2 ways. The first way is to stop denying, and the second way is to include God, your higher power. You can live with God without addiction, but you cannot fight addiction without God. That's a simple, plain truth. AA will tell you that. My methods at www.clearviews.info will tell you that. A treatment center will tell you that. If you need to go to a treatment center because you cannot function at home without even attempting or being tempted by using alcohol and drugs, do the 30, 60, and 90-day programs. I say this all the time. They take insurance, they take Medicaid, and even if they don't, look for a place through your state website or text me at 631-599-0218. I will try to help you find a place that possibly will take you in without any funds or any insurance. Don't know how successful we'll be, but we can give it a shot. I know I was successful with somebody up in New Hampshire. But folks, you need to do 2 things. You need to include your God, your higher power, and you need to stop denying that you have a problem. When I hit rock bottom, I knew I hit rock bottom. All the times before, 6, 7 times, I always said, I'm quitting. And I did quit for a short period amount of time, and I had a relapse. Folks, if you have a relapse, dust your knees, pick yourself up, take a self-inventory, and go forward, move forward. Never, ever, ever give up on yourself or give up on others or go back to the old abuse again. When you have a relapse, it's 1 step back, but then take 2 steps forward. Don't take 2 steps back and then 1 step forward. Do it the opposite way. Take 1 step back, that's your relapse, and then take 2 steps forward. And for the amount of time that you did actually quit drinking or quit doing drugs before you had that relapse, that is time that you gained back in your life. Whether it was a day, a week, a year. Folks, if you can't go by the 24-hour rule, not a rule, but some thing that people say, go day by day, 24 hours at a time, if you can't do that, because it's just too long, break it up into 4 6-hour shifts or 3 8-hour shifts, or if it's 10 o'clock now, wherever you're watching me in the morning, stay sober till 10:10. You just gained 10 minutes back to your life. You just gained more ability to keep writing chapters in your book of life. Your book of life. Those chapters starting today, October 1st, 2014, can include, I gave up drinking. I gave up doing drugs. Let those chapters be rewritten by you. Let people remember you when you're gone as a person that changed their lifestyle, their personality, and their being themselves. Because once you quit your alcohol and your drugs, you will change automatically. You might not see it right away, but you will change. You'll change it in physical aspects. You'll feel it in an emotional aspect. And other people will notice it. Believe me, they will notice it. One way to start is tonight, when you take your slippers, your shoes, or your sneakers off before you go to bed, and you put it at the edge of your bed, push them under your bed. That way, when you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll be forced to go on your knees to go and get your slippers, shoes, or sneakers. And while you're on your knees, thank your Lord, your God, or your higher power for another day that He is giving you or allowing you to be on this earth. When you take that breath like, isn't that nice to be able to breathe? Well, remember, there is someone on this earth that is now, as we speak, taking their last breath. There is someone that can't blink like this, because when they close their eyes, it's the last time they will ever close their eyes or open them again. Thank God that you have another day on this earth. Let today, October 1st, 2014, be the rest of your life. The change is so minimal to just stop drinking and stop drugging. It's minimal. What is the hard part is how to live with it. Or in some cases, how to live without the alcohol and the drugs. That is where people like Dr. Luis Gonzalez, people like myself, come in hand. We are there, step by step for you. It's people like the treatment centers, people like AA. We are all soldiers in this war on drugs and alcohol. People like Pam. She just went down to Washington for the Fed Up rally. It is people like us and people like you that will make this world a better world. A new acquaintance, people like Annie Welch. People like her that are interested in learning how to help other people. Those are the people that are out there. And every time I do these videos, if I could just help 2 people, myself will definitely get help. And maybe 1 person out of my thousands in my audience daily. Listen to the interviews, and I'm sure you have already if you're watching this, in the beginning of this. Those are real people with real stories. That's why you'll hear profanity of the last fella. I will not edit that out because that is his real story. His story is pretty sad, if you ask me. He still drinks alcohol, but he's beaten the drug arena. Got locked up for 16 years. Gets out of jail. Gets extradited down to Florida. The minute he walked out of one jail, they picked him up and brought him down there. Hold him for almost 8 weeks to tell him, I'm sorry we held you. The reason we held you is because there was some paperwork shuffle mix-up. They didn't give him a ticket back to Florida. They didn't give him any money and left him down there to get back. He is the perfect candidate to go back to doing drugs. Yet, he has learned to live with not doing the drugs. He still drinks alcohol, but he's learned not to do the drugs anymore. Those are real people with real stories. In the beginning, the pastor, he says people like me going out there to fight. It's people like me, Dr. Gonzalez, Pam, people who want to learn how to go out and fight, people like Annie. It is all of us, and it could be you, that need to come together as a community to show our lessons how it will empower addiction recovery. Clear views, clear reform. Clear. Community lessons empower addiction recovery. It's that simple. We talked about the role model, how to be a good one. We talked about the book of life. We talk about, if you're ready today, October 1st, 2014, to finally admit that you have a problem and reach to the Lord, what are the methods? AA, my methods, treatment centers. They all have to include one thing, and that's your higher power. Remember, you can live with God without addiction, but you can't live with addiction without God, or you can't battle addiction without God. Plain and simple. And for anyone that wants to dispute that, good luck trying to. AA will tell you to reach to your higher power. I will tell you, because I do it daily. On Sundays, I always post my spiritual lift me ups, because they really do work, folks. My spirits are lifted every time I hear a certain song that is played on one of my videos. When I look at the little pictures that I put up with the quotes, I get the lift of my life daily from that. And so can you. We all need to have a lift me up. And it's not the alcohol lift me up or the drug. It is our children. It is our spouse, our partner, our God. Those are lift me ups that will not hurt you. But if you need to lift me up because of your alcohol and your drugs, those are lift me ups that will bring you down. That lift up will come down again. Your children, your wife, your partner, your God, those are lift me ups that will stay up there. That will lift higher and higher. And the better you become as being a role model, and you don't do those four things, the drinking, the drug, the smoking, the physical abuse, and the profanity, and you do the love, respect, compassion, and emotion in your home, those are lift me ups that'll stay with you being a role model. I'm going to touch up on this role model real quickly now. Practice what you preach. If you want your children's room to be clean, show them that your room can be clean, your bedroom. If you want your kids to eat healthy, you need to show them that you can eat salad as well. You need to apologize when you make a mistake, and you need to own your mistakes and then apologize. You need to think out loud sometimes. Let your children know what you're thinking, that you're not a robot. You need to follow through on anything that you implement in your own home. You need to treat everyone, including your children, with respect. Goes right down to your cats and your dogs. You need to be consistent on everything that is implemented at home. Don't pick and choose certain rules. You need to treat your spouse or your partner with respect, and not just in front of your children, at all times. You need to show interest in your children's, whether it's their homework or their interest. You need to show interest. Show them that you really do care. Show them that compassion. You need to follow through on your own rules. You can't pick and choose the rules that you want to follow. You don't play favorites with any of your children. They should equally be loved by you. Admit your mistakes will be addressed. Ask for feedback during dinner from your children. How can you become a better parent? And that is based on what your children might tell you. Apologize when you hurt your children with maybe saying something that you didn't mean. If you want to be alone for a while, you want to work on your car, gently break it to your children, but don't go out there and just shut them down. Gently break it to them. Give them some money to go to school. To go to the store. Tell your children, enforce the fact that you want your children to do well in school, but don't make it sound like you expect only A's. Don't compete. Make sure that you don't have your children compete with each other to get your respect. Respect and love your children equally. Don't pressure your children to talk if they don't want to talk. Show your wife, your husband, your partner, and yourself that you are not perfect. Not all of us are. Include your children in activities when it's appropriate, like family nights and family outings. Be more mature than your children. Remember, your children are your children. Help your children write their chapters from 0 to chapter 18 daily with your leadership, with your knowledge. At 18, they'll go on their own. They'll write their own chapters just as much as you're writing yours. Let your chapters start changing like mine did at 52. That's when my chapter started changing. Actually, I was 51. I shouldn't say that because it was June 22nd. My birthday's now to October. So at 51, my chapter started changing to not to include alcoholism anymore. Change yours. Try it. Dr. Luis Gonzalez, startingpointmn.com, startingpointmn.com, 844-414-8444. Pam Hemphill, she's on Facebook, Time to Heal Show. The show concentrates on recovery. You can find her on YouTube under Time to Heal, Pam Hemphill. Go to my websites, www.clearviews.info or www.clearreform.com. You can find me on Facebook. We have an open group, Clear Reform. We have pages, clearviews.info and Clear Reform. You can also find me on Twitter, Blogger, I should say, Dig, Dogpile, Bing, Google. So there's plenty of avenues to get a hold of me. Text me at 631-599-0218 or call me at 844-405-HELP. Folks, we had a really good session, but I want to emphasize, let the sunshine into your heart and into your home, and you will get nothing but positive results. And never ever give up on yourself, and never give up on others. And remember, a sober today will guarantee you a better tomorrow. That I promise you. And always remember to thank your higher power for another day that you get to breathe and open your eyes, because somewhere in life, or in this globe, or this world, there's someone that is taking their last breath and closing their eyes forever. So thank your higher power that you are sitting here watching this video right now. Folks, I say this all the time. Please have a remainder of this day to be a sober day, and God bless you.